Welcome to our channel. So design steps for gantry girder. So in design steps for gantry girder, first we have to know the what are the elements, what are the parts in the gantry girder. So this is a complete picture of a gantry girder parts. So before going to this, this part is known as gantry girder because it having I section and a channel section. The both compound section or built up section, the both eye and channel both combinedly called as we can called as gantry gutter. Above the gantry gutter we have a rail section. So this rail is used to movement of the wheels of a crane gutter or crane hook. Okay, so this is a rail section. This rail section is used to movement of the wheels of a crane gutter. Okay, so this is a crane gutter. So in this crane gutter, a hook which is trolley or crab which is traveling or moves along this gutter, crane gutter. Okay, this is one. And also this is a column. This column is connected to this gantry gutter with a bracket connection. So these are the main component parts of a gantry gutter. Okay, so built up section of channel and eye section. So we have to design this section with both eye and channel section. This is a built up section. We have to design this gantry gutter section. Above this gantry gutter we have to provide a rail section because of the smooth movement of the wheels on this gantry gutter to transfer smoothly of the rail. Okay, next, so on this rail two wheels of a gantry gutter on this side and two wheels of this gantry gutter of other side moves along this rail section. So this is a crane gutter. Along this crane gutter a crab or trolley which moves along this crane gutter. So with the carrying capacity of lifting carrying capacity, it lifts something, any material or any objects by using this trolley with the hook. Okay, so this is the main components of the part of a gantry gutter. So first we have to find the this gantry gutter. So this gantry gutter is a combination of or a built up section of a channel and eye section. So we, you know that the in the design of beams, what we find first, we have to find the plastic section modulus. So before find the plastic section modulus, so whenever the we know the plastic section modulus requirement ZPZ. So whenever the we know the plastic section modulus requirement ZPZ, so with that value we can choose the appropriate section. So that is the basic starting step for the design of a gantry girder or a maybe beam. So gantry girder or beam or maybe um, purlins, all are coming under to the beams. So in the beams we have to find the first plastic section modulus requirement ZPZ. So whenever we find the plastic section modulus requirement, when automatically we can choose the section from the code book annexure H page number 138. So this is the starting step. So with the same way, for the design steps of the gantry girder, so first we have to follow this all type of steps, but we have to observe this. First we have to find the choose the suitable section. So how we can choose the suitable section? By obtaining of the plastic section modulus requirement. Okay, so the plastic section modulus requirement. So whenever we find the plastic section modulus requirement, okay, whenever we find the plastic section modulus requirement, according to the plastic section modulus requirement, we choose the section, both eye and channel section, both combinedly called a built up section. So and we can finally classify the section and what are the steps which comes under the one by one. Okay, first, but the first point is we have to find the plastic section model requirement. So for in order to find the plastic section model, we have to find the mz. What is mean mz? Bending moment. What is the bending moment acting on the gantry girder? What is the bending moment acting on the gantry girder? So first, that means in order to find the plastic section modulus requirement, we need to find the bending moment in the gantry girder. So in order to find the bending moment in the gantry girder, so in order to find the bending moment in the gantry girder, we have to find the dead load of the bending moment due to dead load, bending moment due to live load, and bending moment due to impact load. So these totally three altogether combinedly give the maximum bending moment in the given gantry girder with respect to in the z direction and also the y direction. We will discuss the in next time. Okay, so this is the steps. First, we have to find the plastic sectional modulus requirement. So in order to find the plastic sectional modulus requirement, we have to find the bending moment in the z and y direction. That means along the direction and transverse direction bending moment. Okay, so for this bending moment requirement, we have to find the dead load due to bending moment due to dead load, live load, and impact load. So totally we combine with three, we can get the maximum moment. But again, so due to find the dead load or live load, so in order to find the live load or maybe crane load or wheel load, so the second B point, we have to find the bending moment due to live load or crane load. So we have to we have to take the worst combination, the highest load acting on the gantry gutter. So that position we have to take the on the gantry gutter, then we can find the bending moment. So in order to find the bending moment due to live load or crane load, the maximum bending moment due to live load or crane load, whenever we how we find the live load or crane load is by taking the wheel loads on the gantry gutter at a highest maximum position. So when the where the gantry gutter, so where the wheel load is provided on a portion, so that wheel load gives a maximum wheel load on the gantry gutter. So that position that we have to take. Okay, so once again I am remembering, repeating you. So first we have to take section. So choose the section is the main criteria for the gantry getter. So we choose the section of a gantry getter. So in order to find the section of a gantry getter, we need plastic section modulus requirement. Again, we need to find the plastic section modulus requirement. We have to find the bending moment in the z direction and y direction. So bending moment in the z direction is combinedly due to three bending moments. So but for the live load, we have to position the maximum wheel load on the gantry gutter is to be considered. So for this we have to find the wheel load also. So so this is the points. Okay, so this is the gantry gutter. So combinedly channel and I section along this member, we have to we are providing a rail section. On this rail section, this entire gantry gutter is placed on this rail section. So this rail on this rail section, so we are providing the gantry gutter, and this gantry gutter with crane gutter. So this crane gutter with hook or trolley moves along in this direction or in this direction. Okay, Adi, um, okay. Okay, so like this is the front view. So this is the front view of a crane cutter. Okay, this is the front view of a crane cutter. So in this diagram, I am showing you three-dimensional view of a crane cutter. So this is a crane cutter. Okay, this is crane cutter. This is trolley. Sorry, this is crane cutter. This is trolley or crab. Okay, so along this crane cutter, this trolley moves in this direction, horizontal direction. This trolley on this girder moves in the horizontal direction along this, and also this crane girder also moves in the on the gantry girder in the in this direction or in the longitudinal direction. So this trolley is moves in this direction and this crane girder moves in this direction. So both x and y direction, the trolley can move like this way. ఓకే, సో ఇలా ఉంటుందండి. ట్రాలీ ఉంటుంది కదా, ఈ ట్రాలీ అనేది అలాంగ్ దిస్ డైరెక్షన్, ఈ డైరెక్షన్ లో మూవ్ అవుతుంది అండ్ ఈ డైరెక్షన్ లో కూడా ఆ క్యాంట్రీ గడ్డర్ మీద మూవ్ అవుతూ ఉంటుంది. అంటే మనం ఏదైనా లోడ్ తీసుకొని దీనికి అటాచ్ చేసినప్పుడు మన ఆపరేటింగ్ ద్వారా మనం అలాంగ్ ది ఈ డైరెక్షన్ లో మూవ్ చేసుకోవచ్చు, ఈ డైరెక్షన్ లో మూవ్ చేసుకోవచ్చు. అయితే సో వాట్ ఆర్ ద కండిషన్ ఇస్ దట్, సో we have to find the maximum wheel load. So we need to find the maximum wheel load. So maximum wheel load is obtained by when trolley is very close to the gantry cutter. Okay, so whenever we get the for example, this is a gantry girder. So this is a totally gantry girder. So this is a crane girder. So this crane girder having a hook. This hook moves along this direction. Also along this entire crane girder moves in this direction also. So but this is the gantry girder. Okay, this is the gantry girder. So this is the gantry girder. Okay, this is crane girder. Okay, so this is gantry girder. Okay, so this is front view and this is side view. So this is the gantry girder. So on the gantry girder, we have to find the maximum wheel load. So if we take crane hook or this position at its center, whatever what you get that, so the maximum wheel load is distributed by both girders. So that means the total crane capacity is the total load is divided by one grain gutter, one gantry gutter is this side, and one another gantry gutter is this side. So the total weight is distributed to into half of its weight. But whenever the crane is very close to the gantry gutter, so one of the gantry gutter facilitate or um, uh, it gives maximum load on the gantry cutter. So that means simply say that, సో ఈ హుక్కుని కానీ ఈ క్రేన్ ఈ ట్రాలీని కానీ మనం సెంటర్లో ఉంచినప్పుడు ఏమవుతుందంటే, సెంటర్లో ఉంచినప్పుడు ఈ ఈ గ్యాంట్రీ గడ్డరికైనా ఈ గ్యాంట్రీ గడ్డరికైనా సగం సగం వస్తుంది దాని యొక్క టోటల్ వీల్ లోడ్. అదే ఈ ట్రాలీని కనుక, ఈ హుక్కుని కనుక, ఈ క్రేన్ కెపాసిటీని క్రేన్ని కనుక కొంచెం ఇక్కడ వరకు తీసుకొచ్చగలిగినా కానీ, ఎంత దగ్గరికి తీసుకొస్తే అప్పుడు దీని మీద మాక్సిమం ప్రెషర్ పడుతుంది. అంటే ఈ గ్యాంట్రీ గట్టర్ మీద మనకు మాక్సిమం వీల్ లోడ్ పడుతుంది. సో అలా మనం ఈ యొక్క గ్యాంట్రీ ఈ క్రేన్ ని మనం ఇక్కడికి తీసుకొచ్చామనుకోండి, సో అప్పుడు దీని మీద మాక్సిమం పడుతుంది. అప్పుడు దీని మీద కొంచెం తక్కువగా ఉంటుంది. ఎందుకంటే మనం వరస్ట్ కండిషన్ తీసుకోవాలి ఎప్పుడైనా సరే వీల్ లోడ్ తీసుకునేటప్పుడు. ఎందుకంటే ఇది ఎప్పుడు ఒకే దగ్గర స్టాండర్డ్, ఒకే దగ్గర ఫిక్స్డ్ గా ఉండదు. ఇలాంగ్ దిస్ డైరెక్షన్ లో మూవ్ అవుతుంది, అలాంగ్ ఈ డైరెక్షన్ లో కూడా మూవ్ అవుతుంది. అందుకని మనం ఏం చేయాలంటే, సో వీ హ్యావ్ టు ఫైండ్ ది మాక్సిమం వీల్ లోడ్. సో ప్రొవైడ్ ది క్రేన్ ఆన్ ద వెరీ క్లోజ్ టు ద gantry girder. But we have to we have to observe this. So it first condition, the condition for maximum wheel load. So whenever we get the maximum wheel load is when the hook is very close to the gantry girder, so or on the gantry girder. but 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 we have the problem that the crane girder having the maximum crane approach is up to this distance only, because here is the one tapered section. So because of the not obstruction to this gantry girder or this bracket connection, so due to this crane girder is having a facility in this sloping of this direction. So the crane or hook is the maximum approach to the gantry girder is only up to this point only. So we the maximum wheel load is position is on the gantry girder is the maximum wheel load. But we have not a facility that the entire hook is not along on this gantry girder. So we have the some approach distance, we have the only approach distance. So the maximum approach distance is only up to this point, because this is a sloped portion. So in order to find the maximum wheel load, so maximum wheel load కావాలి అంటే సెంటర్ లో ఉంటే మాత్రం గ్యాంట్రీ గడ్డర్ కి రెండు వైపులా సగమే వస్తుంది. అదే ఈ హుక్ కనుక చాలా దగ్గరగా ఉందనుకోండి, అప్పుడు దీని మీద మాక్సిమం వస్తుంది, దీని మీద మినిమం వస్తుంది. సో మనం మాక్సిమంకి కన్సిడర్ చేసుకొని వీల్ లోడ్ డిజైన్ చేస్తే మనకి ఎక్కువ సేఫ్టీ అనేది ఉంటుంది. సో ఎప్పుడు కూడా సెంటర్లోనే ఉండొచ్చు, ఉండకపోవచ్చు. సో ఎడ్జ్కి కూడా రావచ్చు. అలా వచ్చినప్పుడు కూడా మనం మాక్సిమం వీల్ లోడ్ కండిషన్ తీసుకోవాలి. సో అంటే మనకి మాక్సిమం వీల్ లోడ్ కావాలి అంటే, సో మాక్సిమం వీల్ లోడ్ కావాలి అంటే గ్యాంట్రీ గడ్డర్ మీద, ఈ గ్యాంట్రీ గడ్డర్ మీద మనకి మాక్సిమం వీల్ లోడ్ రావాలంటే ఈ ట్రాలీని కానీ ఈ హుక్ని కానీ మనం దీనికి ఈ గ్యాంట్రీ గడ్డర్కి చాలా దగ్గరికి తీసుకురాగలగాలి. సో ఎంత దగ్గరికి తీసుకొస్తే మనకి అంత మాక్సిమం వీల్ లోడ్ పడుతుంది. సో ఈ మాక్సిమం వీల్ లోడ్ పడాలి అంటే సమ్ డిస్టర్బెన్స్ అనేది ఉంది. ఇక్కడ ఏంటంటే క్రేన్ అప్రోచ్ అనేది ఇంతవరకే ఉంటుంది, అంతకంటే ఈ క్రేన్ అనేది ఇక్కడ వరకు వెళ్ళలేదు. ఎందుకంటే డ్యూ టు ద అవైలబిలిటీ ఆఫ్ దిస్ క్రేన్ గడ్డర్. సో ఈ విధంగా షేప్ ఈ విధంగా ఉండబట్టి మనం ఏం చేయలేము. ఓకే, అదే పొజిషన్ ఇక్కడ పాయింట్ నేను రాశానండి. సో దిస్ ఈస్ ద crane. So this is a crane girder. So this is a triangle trapezium shape is a crane girder. This is a gantry girder. This is a gantry girder, and this is a gantry girder. So in order to find the maximum wheel load, we have to provide this trolley very close to the gantry girder. So but we have the facility like this way, we cannot move this further trolley up to this point. So we have stopped the crane up to this point only. So the maximum approaching distance is so some fixed distance. So that is maybe 1.2 meters or 1.5 meters of the trolley approaching to the crane gantry girder. Okay, so with this position we can get the maximum wheel load. Okay, next, in order to calculation of the maximum bending moment, so we find in order to find the maximum bending moment, so the maximum bending moment is occurs when the maximum bending moment occurs, the centroid of the load system is slightly away from the center of the gantry girders. Okay, slightly away from the center of the gantry girder. So this is a gantry girder. AB is a crane girder. CD is a gantry girder. So this is a CD. This is gantry girder. AB is a crane girder. So this is the gantry girder. So this is the gantry girder. So this gantry girder center point is this. Okay, we have two wheels. Okay, I will show you next. So this is for any gantry girder, the load is distributed into two wheels. Okay, so the total maximum wheel load is distributed to two wheels. Okay, so again these two wheels of this loading system of this centroid is, so certain distance is from the resultant force to this nearest point load, so that may be x bar. Okay, the total center distance is maybe x bar. So with this, the again the center distance is provided on this on the center of the gantry girder. So that means we have to provide this entire center of the system is x bar by 2 from the one of the point load. Okay, so this is the position. Okay, this position is to be provided to get the maximum bending moment. Okay, so that diagram also I will show you. So in order to find the maximum bending moment, we have to place the crane very close to the gantry girder, and also we have to provide the this crane girder, or we have to provide the two wheels along the at the approximately at the center of the this crane girder. So this is the length of the crane girder. So we in between, so the length of the gantry girder. So we have to provide the crane girder at the center. So because two wheels, I will show you diagram. So this is the crane cutter. The total load of the maximum wheel load is distributed into two wheels. So therefore, the total whatever the wheel load is obtained, so that is divided by two wheels. So in this direction by two, or on this direction also by two. So we have to divide this total wheel load by two. So when we get the 2 point of a wheel load, so that's why we have to we have here we two wheels of a black color diagram showing in this picture. So this is maximum wheel load condition, this is maximum bending moment. So maximum wheel load condition is not at any position, the maximum wheel load position is obtained by the very close to the crane. Okay, but for in order to find the maximum bending moment, we have to provide the trolley at the very close to the gantry girder, and also this crane girder is to be provided at the center of the gantry girder, at the center of the gantry girder. If you see this diagram, so the gantry girder is not at the center, just at any position, but we have to provide the maximum wheel load where the trolley is very close to the gantry girder. Okay, but for the maximum bending moment, again we have to provide the trolley very close to the gantry girder, and also we have to provide the crane girder at the center of the gantry girder. So with this position, we can get the maximum bending moment. So the same diagram I will showing in this picture. Okay, so this is the CD is a gantry girder. Okay, along this gantry girder we have 2 point wheel loads. Okay, the 2 point wheel loads. So these 2 point loads of the resultant force to the central distance of the nearest point load is the central distance is x bar. So with this center of the distance, we have to provide the at the center of the gantry girder. So with this x bar of x bar by 2, so the resultant force and the nearest point load of the half of the center of the distance, we place the gantry girder at the center of the point. So this is the maximum bending moment condition. Same like this way. Next we have to find the calculation of the maximum shear force. So we have to find the maximum shear force. So you have to find the maximum shear force, the shear force due to dead load, live load, and impact load. So in the bending moment also we have the impact load. So impact load or surge load, we can call it as impact load or surge load. So bending moment due to impact load, we have to take in this IS 875 part 2 code book. So already I have this code book. So in this IS 875 part 2 code book, for vertical loads, electrically operated overhead cranes. In a given problem, he was given that this is for a design of a gantry girder for electrically operated overhead crane or manually operated head crane is clearly mentioned the problem. So when the vertical for the impact load, we have to impact load. So for the impact load, for vertical loads of electrically overhead crane, we have to add the 25% to the maximum of the static loads. Okay, maximum of the static load. For hand operated cranes or manually operated head cranes, for vertical loads we have to add the bend moment due to impact is the 10% of the maximum wheel load. Okay, 10% of the maximum wheel load, 25% of the maximum static loads. Okay, this is for vertical loads. Horizontal loads, for IS 875 part 2, for electrically operated overhead crane, so the 10% of the weight of the crab and the weight of the lifted by the cranes. Okay, clearly observe this points, weight of the crab and weight of the lifted by the cranes. For other electrical operated cranes or hand operated cranes, that is the 5% of the weight of the crab and weight of the lifted by the crane. So this is the impact loads taken for the bending moment positions. Okay, bending moment due to impact load. So for this bending moment due to impact load, we have to take the 10% of the bending moment due to the point of the whatever the conditions given in the AS 875 part 2. Like this same direction shear force also we have to take the from the AS 875 part 2. In this direction also we have to find the shear force in the along the z direction, along the y direction, that is longitudinal direction and lateral direction. Okay, so in order to find the maximum shear force, the maximum shear force is occurs when the wheel loads is near to the gantry cutter. Okay, near the gantry cutter and near to the support of a column. Okay, so with this condition we will get the maximum shear force. That means for maximum bending moment, bending moment, so the wheel load system is provided at the center of the gantry cutter. So for a maximum bending moment, but the maximum shear force condition, we have to provide the wheel loads at the support of the gantry cutter. So whenever the position of the gantry cutter, we can get the maximum shear force on this gantry cutter. So this is the position. So I will also show the diagram. Okay, so in order to find the maximum shear force, condition for the maximum shear force, so in order to find the maximum shear force, we have to provide this crane girder exactly on the column of a gantry girder, or the at the edge of a gantry girder. Whenever the loads is at the edge of the gantry girder, so we can get the maximum shear force. Again, we also be having two wheel point loads. That's why we have to choose the two wheel loads at the just to right of the C. Okay, just right of the C. With this loading condition, we can get the maximum shear force. Okay, so once again I'm remembering you, repeating you, so that we have to find the gantry girder section. So for this gantry girder section, first we need to know the plastic section modulus requirement. For in order to find the plastic section modulus requirement, we have to find the bending. For bending moment, we have the these steps, but due to live load, we can obtain by the maximum live load is obtained by the maximum wheel load position. So whenever the maximum wheel load position is very close to the gantry cutter, we can get the maximum wheel load. So due to with this wheel load, we can find the maximum bending moment due to live load. Because because of the wheel load is considered as a live load, because it is moving along the crane cutter, so it is not a particular position. So that's why we can take in as a trolley capacity or trolley load or crane capacity, commonly call it as a live load. We can take in as a live load. So with this condition, the wheel load may be taken as a live load. Okay, so this after the finding of the plastic section modulus requirement, we can choose the section. After the section choosing of the section, we have to classify the section because of the beta b value. So beta b value is the factor. So with this factor, which factor is depend upon the either the section is plastic or semi compact or compact section. So we are also having the for this value IS 800 2007, page number 18, table number I think so 2. So page, table 2. So we have the different type of sections. So plastic, compact or semi compact. So whatever the values b by tf value and d by tw ratio, with this ratio we can find the beta b is a either a plastic section or a compact section or any other section. Okay, so with this we can find the beta b, and also we are also find the zpz. So we have to find the zpz value. So in order to find the zpz value, so first we have to find the calculation of the elastic section modulus and plastic section modulus. So plastic section modulus are also we are also covered in the previous class section and in the unit of beams, design of beams. So for previous class, once we go to this video, so or go to the class, we can you can find the plastic section modulus requirement, how to calculate the plastic section modulus, and also we can find out the elastic section modulus also. That elastic section modulus we can find the IZ by Y. So that means I by Y. So moment of inertia along the Z direction by the maximum maximum Y is the extreme fiber distance. Okay, Y. With this value, we can find the plastic section modulus and also elastic section modulus. Plastic section modulus is obtained by previously we are discussed in the design of beams. On the design of beam, we are discussed the plastic section modulus requirement. So go to once. Okay. Next, elastic section modulus is IZ by Y. So for this, we have to find the moment of inertia along the ZZ direction. So after finding of the ZPZ and ZEZ, we can easily find the and MDZ and MDY. So once if we satisfy this value, we can find the check for shear, and also we have to find the check for local capacity. So check for local capacity, that is M by MZ. We are missing one point here. So that is MZ by MDZ, MZ by MDZ plus MY by MDY. It should be less than or equal to 1. So that we have to check for the moment capacity. Once it is okay, we can we can follow the next step. If we not satisfied that MZ by MDZ plus MY by MDY is more than 1, we have to again redesign the or re-choose the section of I and C section and repeat the above process, and we have to find the check for moment capacity. Once if it is satisfied, next we have to go for shear capacity. Shear capacity formula we can go for the class of 8.4.1, page number 59. You can find this formula, shear capacity. So the shear capacity is more than the shear force of the design shear force. The more than the design shear force. The shear force is where we means shear force due to the wheel load. So this shear force due to wheel load is more than the design shear capacity of the internal force of a gantry cutter. So and also check for low shear or high shear. Because if you check for low shear, high shear, if we check for low shear or high shear case, if we get low shear case, so if we get low shear case, we do not go for the web buckling. So ultimately, if low shear having, so check for web buckling is not required. But high shear case, we have to check for web buckling. Okay. So the first foremost important is that. So first we have to find the choose section and also find the check for moment capacity. Up to this point is enough for the exam point of view. Okay. And also for the deflection point of view. So these 2 points are highly important, and up to this point you can close the problem. But if you are having time, so you can go for check for shear capacity. Okay. If we get shear capacity is low shear, and also we no need to find the web buckling also. But if we in the problem, if we ask very clearly, if we find the web buckling also, when you can go for the formula B1 plus N1 into TW into FCD. So B1 is the plate bearing length, plate bearing length. So that is the wheel load, the wheel load is the bearing plate length. So that is the bearing plate length may be generally taken as 100 to 150 mm. So B1 means bearing plate length. So that means bearing plate. So generally we are providing at the beams bottom, we have on the columns, we are providing the bearing plates. On the bearing plate, the total load is distributed. So that way the B1 is the bearing plate length that generally taken as the diameter of the wheel, that is 100 to 150 mm. Generally, actually 150 mm is taken as the B1. Next N1. N1 is obtained by the web buckling is obtained at the at the center of the gantry cutter. So the N1 is the slope of the distance. So N1 is depends upon the its depth of the I section, and also the 2 times of its web of the channel section. Okay. So that's why N1 is equal to the D by 2 plus 2 into DW. Okay. You have not clearly mentioning you. I will already, this topic is already clearly explained in the beams. Okay. So next, check for deflection. This is the most important case, and also these formulas which are available in the class 8.7.31.1 and page number 67. Only in this class, only the value of this area is only present in the check for web buckling. So into FCD we can find the wearing capacity. Okay. Web buckling capacity. Okay. Next, last finally we find conclude that check for deflection. So check for deflection, having the check for deflection for the gantry cutter formula is WLQ by 6 into A, 3A by 4L minus AQ by L. This is the formula. We have to remember this formula because this formula is not available in the code book. So you must remember this formula, because we are you can also can find out the when the maximum deflection is obtained when the total load system is exactly at the center of the system. So with this condition, if you can find the deflection by moment area method, any double integration method, or any slope deflection method, or any method, you can find the deflection. So after deflection we can find this formula WLQ by 6EI into 3A by 4L minus AQ by L cube. Okay. Where A means L minus C by 2. L means length of the girder, C means length of the wheelbase. And that means wheel loads which are moving on the crane girder or gantry girder. So the distance between the wheels is known as taken as c. So that c is known as wheel base distance. Okay, so once again repeating you. So the most important is first we have to find the choose the section and classify the section and check for moment capacity. That is mz by mdz plus my by mdy is less than 1. Once after the checking of the check completed, you can go directly for the check for deflection only. Okay, if you have not sufficient time on the exam time. Okay, so directly you can go for check for deflection. So if you have any time, and also if the in the problem he is clearly asking that, and also do for the check for web buckling, check for shear capacity, you have to done this process also. Okay, so and also for the design of connections. So in the design of connections, so this is the shear strength of the member or shear strength of the member. Okay, so shear strength of the member, so in this I section and this is a channel section. So we have to combine this totally by using a welding connection. So for this welding connection, we have to find the design of connection. So for this connection, we have to find the shear strength of the weld. So shear capacity of the weld. So if we find the shear capacity of the weld, so next we have to find the shear strength of the weld. LW into T into FW FIW by root 3 into gamma m naught. With this formula, we can check the shear capacity of the weld is sufficient or not. So at the last we have to find the design of the connections. Once after the completion of the design of connection, we can also find the check for buckling resistance. So this is also most important, but if you have the sufficient time, you can go for this design step also, that is the check for buckling resistance or check for design bending strength. Okay, bending strength. Okay, check for design of the bending strength. So that's the formula is for beta b and zp into fbd. So for this FBD, we have number of generally we have three methods for the finding of the FBD. That is with the MCR value or FCRB value, and by using table number 13A and 14, we can find the FBD value. So the FBD is the most complicated thing. So for this obtaining of the FBD value, we have number of procedures and a number of three types of procedure. So with this which method is easy, so you can use that. Okay, but mostly critical and accurate method is MCR method. So but in the MCR value, if you substitute that value, you can finally obtain the FBD value. So I will discuss in the next class. Okay, and also after the completion of the buckling distance MDZ, you can find the check for biaxial bending also, that is mz by mdz. Mz is same as the bending moment at the on the gantry cutter is same mdz. The mdz is now taken as this buckling resistance, not a previous one. And my, so my is same, so buckling bending moment due to lateral direction, and mdy we can take as fy into zy by gamma m naught. This should also be more than the my. So once this condition is also less than 1, so and the gantry cutter is safe for the load. So this is the design steps for the gantry cutter and introduction to the gantry cutter. Okay, thank you.